Welcome back everyone, Oz here. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And today we have Entitled Parents and some fan submitted stories to follow along with it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. This story was sent to me by Caitlin, and they have an interesting case of entitled neighbors who really lack just general respect. Hi Oz, this story is about the nightmare family that lives next door to me. We'll try to keep it short, but no promises. Okay, so some background information of me and my family. I, currently 21 years old, have a disability called cerebral palsy. Basically, I'm more off balance, have trouble walking, or really movement in general. I do have a wheelchair, but try to keep the use of it to a minimum, as my mom has severe health conditions which prevent her from lifting it all too often. My mom, a nice and understanding woman with both rheumatoid arthritis and mild osteoarthritis. Then, the other two members of my family, my dad and brother. He, me, M, my mom, D, my dad, B, my brother, daughter, one of the neighbor's daughters. She isn't as bad as the rest of their family. EM is entitled mom, EMB is entitled mom's boyfriend, EDB is entitled daughter's boyfriend, ED is entitled daughter. Okay, so on with the story. This is just going to be a general overview of the stuff they have done. Firstly, right outside of my house, there is a large rectangular patch of grass with a path that goes up the sides connected to the house, with the actual pavement making up the other side of the grass. There is a lie-bay big enough for 4 cars to park, residents only. So, nearly every day since the day they moved in, all the parking spaces have been taken up by entitled mother, entitled mother's boyfriend, entitled daughter, and entitled daughter's boyfriend, along with any friends they have over. I think the record number of vehicles total they have had is 10. Daughter, entitled mother's boyfriend, entitled daughter's boyfriend, some of their friends, and the entitled mother boyfriend's work van. Now, I will admit, if I'm having a good day, I will normally walk across the grass patch to get to my mom's car, which is fine if she's able to get parked on our side of the road. On a bad day, I just have to struggle or take the wheelchair with me, which causes more problems than it's worth. Lately, within the past month or so, the local council has issued the houses in my area with letters telling them not to park on the grass. No problem, right? Well, the only reason those letters were sent out was because entitled mother and entitled mother's boyfriend parking on the grass. Still do to this day. There have been multiple other incidents with the family. For instance, the time I was sitting on the grass in my back garden when entitled daughter let out her dog, a chihuahua named Princess. This dog jumps the small wall separating the gardens and poos in the grass, and then starts to yap at me. I got a little annoyed, so tried to get the entitled daughter to deal with her shivering rat. I'm not particularly a fan of the breed, but would never hurt it. Entitled daughter looks at me, shrugs, and gives me a look like, "What do you want me to do?" "Excuse me, could you please get your dog out of my garden and clean up its mess?" This is met with an eye roll and attitude. Basically, she walked back into her house and left the dog outside, not bothering to clean up the mess it had left. I waited outside as there are some pretty rough stray cats that are big enough to kill this small dog in the area. Eventually, the daughter comes out and takes the dog in, apologizing for entitled daughter's behavior. I brushed off because no harm done, right? Then there have been multiple times where entitled daughter and entitled mother have let the dog out, and it's wandered into my garden and started yapping, which sounds like it's being murdered by something. Dad and brother have been over to them multiple times about the shivering rat. Mom and dad have threatened to contact the local council on this family, not only for the dog, but the lack of respect for other residents. Why do I get the feeling that even if you asked them if you could use one of the parking spaces, they would reply with something like, "No, because my daughter's boyfriend needs this, so he can park his car on the driveway. You don't need it. Why would you possibly need a parking space? It's not like you have a crippling disability or anything. Holy hell." Thank you, Caitlin, for submitting the story. If I was in your shoes, I would have my mom and dad definitely contact the local council. This story was sent to me through Discord, and I just wanted to say be sure to send this person some love in the comments below. And now, get ready for the return of the entitled stepmother. SM is stepmom, AS is awesome sister, and me is me. A little backstory. My dad is a preacher and our family is very devout Christian, myself included. However, I am also gay, a story for another time, and awesome sister was the only person who knew this. We were at church one Sunday and awesome sister and I are making jokes and checking out some of the guys our age as they walked in. Average sibling stuff. We were being quiet, but stepmother was eavesdropping this time. She managed to work out what we were talking about in flips. She grabs awesome sister and I by the wrist and holds us so we can't get away. She then loudly scolds us in the sanctuary. "Awesome sister, you shouldn't be looking at boys in church. I can't believe you would do something so sinful." then turning to me and giving me the most disgusted look and tightening her grip on my wrist, and I couldn't help but to yelp from the pain. At this point, people are walking by to see what all the commotion is, my dad included. "And how dare you be such an abomination? You are hurting my daughter with your homosexuality. You have one choice and three options. Stop being gay, leave my house, or I'm leaving with my daughter." I really don't want to get into the details, but we ended up getting a lot of crap and got transferred to a different church. My dad still loves me. It was a really rocky road, especially after all this, but I get to see my awesome sister in a couple months at our graduation. We haven't told stepmother, but awesome sister and I have kept in touch and we're going on a trip together after graduation. Stepmother may have found an excuse, but we're family and we stuck together. Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind. Yeah, I kind of stumbled into some Lilo and Stitch clips a few days ago, and that quote's been on my mind for a little bit, so I just thought I would add that because it seemed pretty right on point there. Anyways, yeah, send some love in the comments and let's move on. This story was sent to me by Kate, not Caitlin, Kate. EM is entitled Mom, BZ is Bridezilla, MPH is my photographer husband, we are now divorced but still good friends, MB is my brother, BB is Bride's brother. The perfect and true entitled mom and entitled adult kid story. Back when I was married and before my husband needed a wheelchair full time, he was a photographer. He offered to be the photographer for my brother's wedding at cost, meaning he would only be asked to be reimbursed for film and gas. An awesome deal for anyone who knows anything about what wedding photographers charge. The entitled mother then proceeded to treat him like he was hired help. Now, as my husband, obviously he was my plus one, and there as a guest first and foremost. She was demanding for him basically not to enjoy the wedding or reception and only be a photographer. The worst came when she said, "I guess you can sit down and eat because people won't want their picture taken while they're eating." Oh, really? An invited guest can actually eat? Oh my god, thank you. He stated that he was a guest and she flipped the f*** out. My husband said, "Okay, hire someone," and refused to do the photography. I obviously don't blame him. My brother at first was upset with us until we told what they pulled, and then he just shook his head and went quiet. He was whipped at that point. Bridezilla ended up having her brother take pictures with a pop-up camera, and he thought he was hot shit. Bride's brother, by the way, was my high school computer teacher, so no photography skills, but he did have an okay-ish camera. We went to the wedding and were shocked at what he was thinking when he was lining up shots. My husband, being the nice guy he is, did bring our top-of-the-line Nikon camera and take some good photos. The only nice photos there were. Basically, if a professional is doing anything at cost, accept it and say thank you. Thank God my brother divorced and is now married to his sweetheart, who I am proud to call my sister-in-law. His ex I never liked. I always thought she put on airs and was very fake. Just took other people a long time to see. Bridezilla called my brother the other day to ask if he wanted to get remarried. Apparently, she is divorced from the guy she left my brother for. And my brother is married. My brother just laughed and hung up. Thank you, Kate, for submitting the story, and yeah, I totally side with your ex-husband. A lot of people think they can just point a camera and shoot it, and boom, professional grade pictures. But no, photographers actually know what they're doing, and there's a reason why they charge money, because when they take the pictures, they look really good. I wanted to thank Lunatig for sending this to me on Discord, so let's get into it. My dad's side of the family thought I owed them everything. So last weekend my little sister had some car troubles, her engine blew. So my grandparents tell her to give me a call to see if I still had my old car. I did, only because I still haven't had the chance to get it all cleaned out, since whenever I did, the poor old car would have the doors and locks free shut. Gotta love Indiana weather. My old Lumina is no longer drivable, and even if they wanted to invest in making it so, they might as well put the money into another vehicle. I calmly told my little sister that I could not let her have the car, but then I hear our grandfather in the background cussing me out and calling me selfish. He was saying they just wanted the engine out of it and nothing else. I still held firm and told them no because I still had to sell it for scrap so I could put the money towards the newer car. Little sister understood and said she hoped to see me at our wedding the coming Saturday. That's the second part. Not even 10 minutes later, our dad calls me and tries to guilt me into giving them my car, saying things like I needed to be a proper big sister and help little sister since she needed a running car for herself and my toddler nephew. and that I owed it to them for even having the car in the first place. I was just speechless. I knew my dad was a stubborn ass, but the fact that he even tried to pull that card. Just so y'all know, I worked my butt off to get that car. Granted, it was thanks to the connections that my grandparents had that led me to the job I earned the funds at and the junkyard owner that sold me the car. I went through the struggle to get it and even pay for the major fixes it needed in the 5 years I had it. They had no claim to it. All the while, my mother is sitting next to me on the couch. She can hear every word he is yelling at me through the phone. And boy oh boy was she royally pissed off. She yells back at my dad, me feeling sorry for our poor neighbor that had to hear all this, about how he was a parent, a bunch of things about child support he never paid while I was growing up, how my siblings couldn't even stand him most days, how he was treating the one kid that could even tolerate his behavior like trash. She was letting him have it, basically to which my father just hangs up because he knows she is right about every word and later texts back some rather rude words, pretty much telling us to just stick my old car where the sun don't shine. Note, I hadn't even said a word to him during his call other than a basic hello when I answered it. Oh, and somehow our brother caught wind of what happened and congratulated me on pissing off our dad. They hadn't talked in years because dad made fun of his still girlfriend. Now onto the part with my little sister. Brace yourselves. So my little sister is the typical spoiled brat that was almost never disciplined as a child, and when she was finally being disciplined for her rude behavior, she tried running away. Twice. With some random guy she met online. Yeah, her choice in the numerous guys she has dated has mostly been convicts, whether they were in jail before or shortly after dating her. Anywho, she has only been with her fiance for a few months, and granted he's been good with her and Ganon, nephew, but they are both very young and haven't actually lived in their own place together to even know if they can tolerate each other. They are living in her mother's small trailer. Originally, they had planned to have a ceremony in late March, early April. They even fought and canceled, replanned twice since they announced the engagement. I went to visit her the week before all the drama with my old car, and she informed me that she was getting married on the 9th, my birthday. She then had the nerve to ask me if I had anything planned and if I would give up my day for her. I played nice and told her that I already had plans, which I did, but I would have freed up time to go if I really wanted to. Plus, I really didn't feel like spending an evening around all of her equally annoying and rude friends. I give their marriage a year or two tops. Now, she's planning on having a big ceremony instead of using the money to get a running car, and still on the 9th. I even posted on my Facebook that I was excited for my birthday in just a few more days, and then little sister comments that she couldn't wait for Saturday either for her wedding. Basically trying to take over my post. Instead of even replying to her, I just deleted her comment. I don't want to start any drama with her because I want to be able to see my nephew. Long story short, family demands I give them my old car and get pissy when I tell them no. Then, 19-year-old sister, whom we have an on-again, off-again relationship, knowingly planned her way too early of a wedding on my birthday and was annoying when I told her I couldn't go. Also, she didn't even invite our brother to her special day. Johanna means family, right? This is another story that was submitted to me through Discord. EM is entitled Mom, ED is entitled Daughter, and me is... what? I was riding my bike around the lake. There's this fence around it and bricks on the floor for people to bike around on it. And I saw the entitled mother. Entitled mother approaches me and says, "Hello." I respond, "Hello, do you need any help?" She responds, "No, but your bike is really nice. Can my daughter ride it?" I look behind her and see a kid who is no older than 7 years old. "This bike doesn't seem to be for your child's age. You can buy another one for her." At this point, entitled mother starts getting mad. "Why?" I cannot give you this bike. My dad gave it to me for my 8th birthday." She picks me up and puts me on the ground. Entitled mother puts her daughter on my bike. Can you give that back, please?" Entitled daughter starts going ham on my bike, hitting her head on the fence and falling off. I run over to help, and entitled mother is fuming. I quickly take my bike, get on it, and cycle as far away as I could from them. Oh, hey, welcome to the outro. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and I've even got an Entitled Parents playlist down in the description box below for you to check out. Also, for those of you who have it, I now have a Discord, so feel free to join that. And, as always, I'll see you guys next time.